look at the year, it's flying by. We're in May. Everyone's talking about AFL football coming back, which will be something. It'll be a spur for a great many people. But already I can hear people saying, we can't open our business because we can't sustain it with 10 people at a time. So what can we do there? Are you talking more to state government to see what they can... Is Dan Andrews looking to open the doors a little bit earlier, or is he going to be very, very conservative?
Well, look, the levels of cooperation between the three levels of government, we've never seen this sort of cohesion before, which is fantastic.
We've never really identified the true federation.
Yeah, there you go.
It's there for everyone to see.
It is, and in crisis, isn't it great? We can actually make it happen. So that's been good. I think we're really leading the world in so many ways on the behaviour change and the public response to doing the right thing to get the health outcomes that we want. And we applaud everybody for that. It's fantastic. But of course, it has had very damaging economic and I think social impacts that will continue to reveal themselves. The approach taken by both levels of government in many ways has been iterative. If you think of the decisions that have been made over the last 8 weeks in particular, there have been massive decisions and then we start to see small steps away from that. And when we talk to people around the city, most of them agree that that's the right way to go. If occasionally some of those decisions don't quite hit the mark, it's a matter of making another decision. I think generally it's accepted that there are very good intentions and there starts to be a bit of tension, 10 people, 20 people, when will we get to 100, those sorts of things. They're great discussions to have, but in most conversations I have, that health response is still a priority and it underpins each of these steps. But we need people. We need them to come back.
And international travel, as we know, is going to take an eternity to come back.
Yeah.
And Melbourne has been such a hub of activity, the Australian Open, the Spring Racing Carnival. So who replaces the huge numbers of international guests and tourists? Do we have a campaign directed strictly at fellow Victorians or fellow Australians when the borders open to get you to look at Melbourne as the sort of place to be?
Well, I think you've touched on it already, and that is we're in an era where we actually have to be very local and look after ourselves first, and that is the focus. We know that even with the easing of restrictions, social distancing is going to be a part of our lives for a long time, and it has its own it creates its own barriers, having social distancing.
If you're working at say 333 and you're working on the 20th floor, how long is it going to take you to board the elevator? The lift to get up to your office. And are we going to have queues?
Lots of logistical challenges.
Have you been
so
looking into that?
So we're going through all of those discussions with employers, but just to the how do we bring people back to the city? Yes, we've got to think public transport. How do we manage that so that people can feel safe? How do we market so that people understand they can come and do great things, but they can still feel safe in doing it? Are they lots of smaller group activities?
Can you remember the last time you sat in a cafe and had a coffee out of a porcelain cup?
Geez.
See? When was the last time you had some fresh bread over breakfast at a restaurant?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we know it will take time. So our first lot of marketing is to the residents that we have in our city who are working from home, saying come out and actually support the businesses when appropriate.
To Melbourne?
That's it. The next is when we can have intra-state travel. So we're going to get out and support the regions. We're already doing that following the bushfires. We're working with the East Gippsland Shire, but we're hoping the regions will also support the city so we can take turns in getting some benefit. And then our biggest cohort actually of visitors to the city are people from New South Wales. So when we can get interstate travel happening again in some sort of volume, we want to make sure that we're getting more than our fair share of interstate visitors. And how we do that, because they came for culture, they came for major events, is still going to be a challenge, but we're working on it. discussions with Tennis Australia on how do we bring that tournament alive, even if there are restrictions around social distancing, so that people can feel they're participating, even if we're not going to have the really big crowds in the main arena. We may, don't get me wrong, my fingers are still crossed, but if we don't, how can we still do it? So it's an attraction for people. Those are big challenges, but they're great discussions.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
May there be many more.
Thank
we
you.
wish you every success to get Melbourne going. Let's keep this dialogue going. Let's find out where the City of Melbourne is going to take us next, and what are the initiatives that are going to get this wheel, this massive big wheel, back and rolling in a manner that...
Sounds like a song, George.
Yeah.
It's a big wheel, keep on turning.
Maybe Jimmy Barnes, we need to bring him down under.
I love it.
We
Proud
need to talk
Melbourne.
to him. Yeah, bring him to Melbourne. Sally Capp, thank you for joining us on The Informer.
Thanks, George.